And all right, everybody, welcome to episode 6 of Conversations to the Max. Today I have a very, very special guest with me. Her name is Natalie Claro. Some of you might know her from Spotify, Instagram. She's a really cool person and also an old friend of mine who I've met before. So welcome to the show, Natalie.
Hey, what's up? So can you hear me? I just put in headphones.
Yes, I can hear you perfect.
Sweet. So thank you so much for having me. This is cool.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on. I was really surprised you said yes, to be honest.
I am always down to do anything all the time. It's just a matter of, can I remember? And if I have enough time, but like, fortunately, tonight I don't have anything going on. And,
Well, perfect. I mean, we are living in a pandemic right now, so.
You would think that the world would be less functional with the pandemic, but unfortunately I haven't had, I feel like my life has been more chaotic.
My life for sure got way busier because of COVID.
Like what even, that doesn't even, like why?
I'm a manager at Books A Million. And so we went from having a full staff. I used to be able to like take 2 days off a week, and then COVID hit and it went from me and the 2 managers and then like a couple other people. So I was working 5-6 days a week from March until very recently, basically.
Oh, love that. You must be very well rested.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Especially living in a retail environment where I now have to be a mass Gestapo to everybody.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, my podcast is I have my friends on and we tell stories from each other's lives. And, I always try to ask for the most interesting story possible. But I figured since you told me you had a story, which I really want to get to. But first, I want to talk about the night we met because I want to know what you remember about it versus like my aspect of that night.
Okay. So I remember that I became really good friends with these 2 girls because I met them at a concert that I actually was performing at, and I had never had a single person like acknowledge me as a musician, if that makes sense. Like I was doing shows, but like I would never have people continue to talk to me.
You didn't have fans yet.
Yeah, but like I don't even want to call it fans because I don't know. It just, I guess so. At that level, I wasn't even considering fans. It was more like, who can I become friends with through music? So
see, that's where I'm kind of at with comedy right now. Like, I want to be a stand-up comedian, but like my issue is I haven't even been able to perform yet because of the whole COVID bullshit.
Yeah.
So
convenient that happened right as you were getting into that.
Right? Like I turned 21 and then COVID was like, boom, we already hit.
Yeah, you can't even go to bars now. Like
no, I can't.
COVID literally told us to all to go screw ourselves, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So
so I remember, so I became friends with these 2 girls. I opened for Hawthorne Heights in Tampa, Florida, where I grew up. And then after the show, these 2 girls came up to me and they were like, "You were really good." And I was like, "Hey, they're the same age as me. Thanks." And they were like, but I don't know, we were talking and I was like, "They are so pretty." Like I was honestly kind of intimidated because they were both so stylish and cool and like I don't know, they were just edgy.
They had that hipster girl swag that really
legitimately.
It was the same reason I started talking to them at school, because I was like, these girls, and then like they mentioned the Front Bottoms and I was like, oh, we have this indie music connection.
So and much of who I am as a person came from them.
Yes.
Genuinely.
Like so I still make friends the same way. I'm like, I know how you dress and I know what music you listen to.
So I became friends with them. We started, before I even got their phone numbers, we were in a group chat on Twitter and we were talking all the time. And it became one of those things where it's like, I've met these people once, but we cannot stop communicating with each other. I don't know why. So we were just sending each other stuff all day, nonstop. And then finally we hung out. And then, so Aaliyah was one of the girls. She goes, "Can you perform at my birthday party?" And I felt weird about that because I was like, performing at my friend's party for her birthday? Like, I don't know, because the whole aspect of performing is like, you're going to pay attention to me. And like, I mean, I don't know. I felt like a birthday party is about paying attention to the birthday person. So I just felt bad for whatever reason.
My perspective, that was one of the best birthday parties I've ever been to.
Well, I'm glad, because I wanted her to have the best day ever. And she was having a good time. So
I think everyone was. It was such a great party.
It was fun. And so, my dad helped me set up a little stage and the parents kind of hung out in the corner. And so I sang a few songs and I sang Aaliyah Happy Birthday on stage. And then I was walking barefoot like a dumb person and I stepped on a very sharp object that impaled my foot. And then
I didn't even know that.
It happened. And then this kid named Christian picked me up and carried me back to where everybody else was. And that's how I became friends with this kid named Christian. So then we all became good friends, and I started talking to you. We're all singing in a circle. And I remember it just feeling, I think we all started singing a Jacob Sartorius song.
And we also played telephone.
Oh my, telephone is like the epitome of high school years. That just gave me so much nostalgia. Yes. So that was just, I don't know. I honestly, like, I feel like I haven't thought about this in a while, but the fact that like it's coming towards me so quickly, every single detail, like even like the sunflower and the yellow decorations.
I mean, like, it's not something I think about regularly, but just talking about it with you is like bringing back all these like weird little things. Like they had an inflatable, like it was a pool inflatable like unicorn thing, but they were using it as seating.
Yes. Oh my God, that was so fun. Okay, wait, what else?
And I also remember while you were performing, you had like stopped and you were like, "Are you guys like, is the music good? Like, are you guys having a good time?" Because we were such awkward high schoolers who all of us like, it was like everyone at the party vaguely knew each other. It wasn't like we were all good friends in high school. It was like, hey, we all knew Aaliyah and Sierra. And then just everyone just because we knew them doesn't mean we knew everyone else. So like,
yeah, so it was just an awkward group of people.
Yeah, and so like everyone was just kind of standing around, and like I had been to concerts before, and like I knew how like concert energy was, and it was not the same thing. So like I wasn't even gonna try and dance,
because concerts are typically, it's like you have a bunch of people like squished together, and so no one's really looking at each other because you can't turn.
Exactly, and you're all so focused on the singer that you're just like, we're all gonna jam out together right now.
That's why some people have stage fright for big crowds. I have stage fright for small crowds. Small crowds to me. Well, exactly, because a big crowd, it's kind of like, truthfully, you could suck and they're still gonna be like woohoo, because like most of the time they're like high off their minds, and like,
they're either high or they're drinking or they're doing something, and so you're just there for them to have an excuse to just party more. So when even if you're just covering something, they're gonna be like yes, and they're just all together. But like a small crowd, they're all intently watching you.
Exactly. You have to put so much more, like, I mean, I put the same amount of effort no matter what I'm doing, but it's like the amount of pressure is so much higher. And like, I guess truthfully, when you're told that you put on a good show and there was like 12 people standing there, it is such a better feeling, because it's like, wow, I was still able to be entertaining despite the fact that there's no one
I was
here.
Beyond impressed, because the crowd gave you nothing, like myself included. Like I think we all clapped at the end, but like the parents, you could tell that they were like, this is not our generation. Like we don't know.
Oh my God.
And then,
it's like such an awkward like environment,
I don't even think
but it's a cool
anyone danced. I think we all just kind of stood there like this, just like
It's very like, honestly, you feel hated like when you're on the stage and everyone's awkward.
Yes,
it took me years to accept that the ice just isn't broken yet, and so I now know how to perform in front of small crowds. It's a lot of like, hey, I understand you're uncomfortable and I don't care. I will kill you if you don't react. And like, it's a lot of screaming, but it ends up working and people will dance and they do whatever.
Like I wanted to, like I really was like the whole time, because like I had been to concerts before and like all that. So like I knew kind of like what I was supposed to be doing. And like even tapping my foot felt weird because everyone like around me was just so stagnant. And I was just like, I can't imagine what it's like being you right now.
I can't believe I've moved my finger in front of all these people.
Exactly.
The slight twitch of my hand is disgusting. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I'm used to it now at this point, but I don't have any bad memories from that night, honestly.
No, like, it was such a fun night. Fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that little reminisce moment.
You're welcome.
So you wanted me to tell a story, right?
Yes. And so you told me that you had a concussion during a show.
I did. See, well, I can't like, I don't know what the correct phrase would be. You can't like diagnose yourself with a concussion, I guess. The thing is, though, is that I had all the symptoms of one, and it's like, I don't see how it would be possible that I did not have a concussion.
Okay.
I'll
believe that you had a concussion.
Yeah. My mother was firmly believing that I had one.
So really quick, one question I have is, when you tour, are you with your parents all the time? Is it like, are they touring with you, or are you touring on your own?
Usually I have people who are playing with me. Sometimes I just have a drummer and backing tracks. It's like pretty much what I've done for the most part.
Are you still
who will play with me sometimes I have a band. It depends. But now, yeah, so my parents actually always come because they work from home. So
it's an excuse for them to get out.
pretty much, and like they
And
enjoy
also they
it.
should support you. Like, that's
They
awesome.
and they do.
That's
It's more than support. It's more like, you're good. We like what you're doing. So if you don't hurry up and do this,
I
then you're
mean,
stupid. Like,
well,
seriously, like
you are really good. In fact, out of all the music I listen to, I've played your stuff to my mom, and my mom's actually like, I like this one. And
oh, that's sweet.
usually I listen to like rap music and all that, and she's like, and my mom goes, she doesn't have to cuss all the time, and that's so nice.
Oh, that's
Because,
actually
like,
cute.
my
You're
typical
gonna come to
music,
my shows then, because I curse a lot in my shows. I'm just kidding.
well, it's okay. We don't have to take my mom to a live show. She'll listen to 727 and be very happy.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. But yeah.
So continue with the story. Sorry.
Yeah. So also the reason why I was so like eager to get into it is because I weirdly have been mentally preparing about how I was going to tell the story. So now I feel like I don't want to lose it. But
Okay.
so I know that's just me.
I'll let you go then. I won't stop.
Oh, you can interrupt me. I'm bad at telling stories. So kind of imagine it like in the movies, record scratch. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. So just imagine my head smacking against concrete really hard, and then me being so
Was the stage
shocked.
concrete?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm so sorry. The ground was concrete. The stage I think was not, but like I happened to be on the floor.
Oh, okay.
And see, the problem here is that this was a choice. That didn't have to happen, but I am the way I am.
How'd you get from the stage to the floor?
Yeah, how did I end up with my head slamming against concrete? Well, because I am ultimately stupid. So basically, I'm doing the show. My friend Brenna and I did South by Southwest together. She played drums for me. So we did a run of shows in Texas. And for one of the shows was inside a bar. And bars are my favorite place to perform in because people who are drinking at the bar, it's kind of like a challenge. It's like, can I get their attention? And then also there's just always a lot of various chairs that I can stand on, and I enjoy that. So I typically do things that, I didn't ask permission to do, but that's, it's fine, whatever. I'll get in trouble for it after. So I was running around, I'm doing a song that I don't play guitar with. It was just backing tracks and drums. So I'm running around with my mic. And
Is it a wireless mic or a wired mic?
A wireless mic.
Okay,
thankfully.
Perfect.
So I used to do this thing in one of my songs where I'd end the song by literally jumping up in the air and landing on my back, which sounds not possible, I know it sounds ridiculous. If I could probably find video footage of me doing so, and it looked cool. I don't do it anymore because I almost killed myself. But
if you send me the link to that video, I can put it on the Instagram post when I put this video up.
Okay. There is multiple videos of me doing it. I have to just see if I can find it. My mom probably has a video of it. So anyway.
If you want to, if not, if you can't
find
it, don't worry
absolutely. Okay, cool. Okay. So I decided to do that, move at this show, but I didn't analyze the ground to determine if it would be a suitable environment for me to do so. So I ran to the audience and like I'm running around where the people are. And this was one of those shows where it's like there's not many people there.
Well, if it's if it's a bar show, most of the time people are going to a bar not for the concert. It just happens.
Well, no, it was a closed concert.
Oh, okay.
The bars were like a separate area, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like it was a show. It was just that this particular show happened to not, like the show before that was like one of the more filled ones. This one just happened to not have a lot of people. So I take the opportunity of there being space in the crowd to like get rid of,
work with it.
Yeah, like I will run throughout the people and like scream in their face or whatever. And I'm like, you're a part of this now. You came here and there's not people, so we're gonna dance.
I can't wait to see you alive again.
We'll do that. I have to go back to Florida. Okay, I can do it.
I'm in DC now. I'm near DC.
Oh, okay. So then I'll just, when the virus.
Whenever the virus is over and you're touring in DC again, I would love to come see you again.
Sounds good. We'll make it happen.
We gotta get dinner or something too.
Okay.
Just catch up.
Yes, definitely. But so I was running through the crowd, and then at the end of the song I did jumping in the air, landed on my back, and then I swear to God, like I heard my brain rattle because my head smacked really hard against the concrete and then like whiplashed back up. And
Ooh,
so I
you're
remember
lucky
it
you
was,
didn't like crack your skull or something.
I don't know how I didn't die. Like I'm not kidding when I say it hurt so bad. I have never
Did you
experienced
feel it
like,
in the moment?
yeah, like I felt the pain, but it was like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I literally was like shocked. I don't know how to I was just kind of like, what did I just do?
Okay,
Because I
I know exactly what you mean because when I was in high school, I got hit by a car, and
oh I said it so casual. You're like, oh, I
so
totally relate because when I was shot, okay, sorry.
no, no. So I was hit by a car. I actually told the story on the podcast before, so I won't tell the full thing. But
Okay,
basically, I was crossing the street, didn't look, got hit by a car. It was raining really hard.
nice.
Uh, I got up immediately, didn't realize what happened, and I was just like, I thought I tripped. I was a clumsy kid. I thought I tripped. I got up
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, what, what, what? And then like
Right.
everyone's like, you just got hit by a car, and I was like, no, I just tripped. I just tripped. So like
You're like, I'm
the
totally fine. You guys are
yeah,
dumb. They're like, no, the car's
I
proceeding.
tried to walk it off immediately. An ambulance was there, but like, so
Okay.
I totally get the feeling that you mean.
Were you like hospitalized? Like,
I
were
had to
you
go to
okay?
the yeah. So what had ended up happening was I fractured both of my wrists, and then I
Nice.
got stitches above this eye. But other than that, nothing, like no big injuries.
Okay. Glad you didn't,
Die.
die. Yeah.
And that
That's
was
really
I that
scary.
happened before I met you.
Oh, okay. So you were already like,
Yeah.
post car accident.
Yeah.
Um, so glad you relate because like, okay, because it did hurt, but I was like, I hurt myself at shows all the time. So like, pain doesn't concern me. I
Yeah.
legitimately like, it felt like my brain rattled. It
It's
hurt
the
so.
day after pain. That's when you're worried, or at least
Mhm.
when I was.
No, it hurts later the next day, but I'm so like, I don't know how to explain it because it hurt, but like the pain didn't concern me as much as like I like feeling just so like what. And then I remember not being able to have like any clear thoughts.
Oh,
And then
then
I
you
went to
definitely had a concussion.
definitely because I went to speak in the mic to say like, whoa, like that was funny or something. Because again, there was no music playing at that point because that was the end of the song. So I landed on my back and instead of going like, what, that was this song or something, it was dead silent because everyone saw me smack my head on the concrete. So no
Ooh.
one clapped. Like everyone's just staring at me like, is she alive? And so I stand up and I go, anyone listening to this is not going to see me do this. I, held my mic up to my face and I
Well,
went,
I do have a YouTube channel, and I think this might be the first video recording.
wait, are you screen recording?
Yeah.
Oh no, oh goodness.
Or if you want, I can just do
It's
audio.
okay.
But
No, it's okay. It doesn't matter. This is me. This is my form. It's fine. They can know.
sorry, I
I
should
like,
have mentioned that.
it's
Yeah.
okay. I literally look like gross. Okay, it's fine.
I think you look
Um,
fine.
Thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so I didn't, so I was holding the mic up and I tried to speak into it and no words came out. So I was like, oh, maybe this is it now. Like maybe this is the way I have to go about my life because I really, it was just very shocking. So I get up to the stage and I finally, everyone does do the like courtesy clap, but still like, are
Are
you
you alive?
okay?
Like,
And then I remember I needed a moment to think. And then I think I just went on with the show. And then after the show was just a lot of like, are you all right? I saw you smack your head. And I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm going to be okay. But then the car ride back, I was like
did you
so
sleep
out of
that
it.
night or did you stay up?
No, I slept. Like, I mean, I know you're not supposed to, like if you probably have a concussion or something, I don't know. I'm fine.
I don't know either. I was
Yeah.
just curious whether or not you were like, I'm going to be a good Girl Scout and not and not go to sleep, or if you were just like, I'm tired.
Because
So
I was at that point, I wasn't sure if I even really like I think I had one, but at the same time,
you didn't know
that day I
without it.
wasn't like I wasn't truly like, it took until later on when I was telling the story for people to go, no, that sounds like a concussion, for me to go, oh, I had a concussion. But
Okay,
like
so in
at
the
the time
moment
I was like,
you were just like, I just fell. I'm fine.
yeah. So, and I mean, again, like my knees are completely bruised and disgusting from the amount of times I've fallen in a show. Like I'm used to pain. So I didn't care. It was just more, I feel like I sound like one of those people that's just like, yeah, I'm cool. I get her all the time. It don't even bother me. Like, I'm not trying to sound like that, but
No, it's
so that's my
fine
story.
because, but you're also a musician. So you're on, like, you're going on stage. You're probably very, from what you just, these couple like minutes that we've been talking already, you've definitely described something where you're very active on stage. You're moving around a lot. I'm sure it's not the
Yeah,
first time you fell over. And the more, and
I've
plus
done
as a
worse.
performer, you've got that like performing energy as you're doing it. So like, even if you like are hurt, you're probably not feeling it as like intensely as you would if you weren't doing it.
It's true. You do have like that level of adrenaline. Also, I keep forgetting I'm being recorded. I just realized I was literally biting the skin off my lip. It doesn't matter.
You're fine. I didn't
This
even
is
notice it until you said it.
well, it's because like I don't know. I'm so terrible at doing these type of interviews, and I'm hoping I get better at it just because my talking ability is not as good as my writing ability. Like I can do written interview type things pretty well. As soon as there's a conversation involved, my brain is just all
Well,
over
I
the place.
figured
So
that's
I'm gonna be
why an
acting pretty
old friend
awkward.
might be better for this.
That's true.
Like,
Honestly, that's made me comfortable. I'm like,
yeah,
we're buddies. What's up? How you
yeah,
doing?
exactly. Like,
So,
I didn't,
but
so I also wanted to bring back how the story about we met because I don't think you knew this, but at the time I was like crushing hard on Sierra.
aw,
Yeah.
that's cute.
And like that night, it was like originally kind of like I thought it might have been more romantic because the way like she was like, yeah, you can come over and we'll be together and blah blah blah. Because like at the time we were kind of flirting with each other, and then like that ended up not like happening at all. And then like I remember at one point in the night, like it was just her and I sitting alone. And I was like, can I kiss you? So it was just an awkward night for me all around. And then
Yeah,
on top of that, to be like, I just met like this rock star girl, like, and it was a great night, but I felt so out of my element.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's
This is
okay.
all like the most high school story ever. But
It
it's funny in a way though. It's like not in a bad way. It gives
no,
me like perks of being a wallflower vibe. I
right?
don't
And
know.
it's
Yeah.
like it gives me like a weird high school nostalgia that I actually kind of like. Whereas like most of the
Mhm.
time when I'm talking about high school, it's about how I hated it, wasn't fun, look
Mhm.
back at all the negatives. But like those weird nights where I was like, yeah, I was at this party and then like there was a concert and then like
Aw.
I was kind of crushing on this girl, but it didn't work out. It was,
House
just
shows were always the best though.
yes.
House shows, in my opinion, are superior to venue shows. Always will be. I've never done a house show and not come out of it like that was the most fun thing ever. So that's just my opinion. I don't know.
Well, I happen to have a pretty big backyard.
Yeah, no, we are doing that. Like that's the plan.
Oh, hell yes.
The
Yeah.
only problem is just that like everything like sorry if this is negative, but like I'm a person that thrives on like information and hope. And every time I Google like, okay, but when is the virus going away? It's like we
Oh,
don't
you
know. And I'm
no
like,
idea. It's
you have to
literally
tell me.
oh, it's worse because like every month they're like, yeah, we're pushing everything back another month. And it's just like, did you know this already? Or are we just like safer, like hedging our bets by only going 1 month at a time?
I am so into like the conspiracy theories now because I'm just grasping at anything I can to give me answers. I'm like, oh, it's because the sun's exploding and they're trying to hide it from like I don't know. I just made that up. I'm just saying like
Well, the sun
anything that
is
can
slowly exploding. That's
yeah,
not.
that was actually a very dumb thing to say. The sun is one giant explosion. But nonetheless, I just always I don't know. And it's funny because I am not the type of musician that's more of like a social media present kind of musician. And
I don't know.
obviously
Your Instagram's pretty good.
oh, thank you. I mean, I try to have like an
Like
aesthetic, I guess, but overall,
Your Instagram lives are always fun to watch, and you like
aw,
your
thanks.
stories are interesting to see too. So I think
Thank
you're.
you.
I don't, but I'm also only on Instagram, so it's like I mean I have like Twitter and Facebook, but I never use them.
I just meant more along the lines of, I guess, like, because there's a lot of artists I see that are always posting videos on TikTok and YouTube, and I can't watch back a video of myself and be like, this
Oh,
is good. I can't do that.
this podcast has taught me that I like every time I hear my voice, I'm just like, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Me too.
So it's literally just been like a point of me being like, I have to just do it. And if I don't put it
Yeah.
out, if I don't put it out there, it'll never get put out there. So I
I
just
know that
have to.
reminds me of a quote I heard that was like, it's stop worrying about showing up perfect and just show up present. And that's helped me.
Yes. Oh, that's such a good quote. I should
I
write
like
that
that a
down.
lot. It
What?
really truthfully has like made me stop over analyzing myself and go if it's the whole like you missed 100% of the shots you don't take. Like if I
Yes,
don't post content then
exactly.
I don't know, but it's just so I'm so not good at that. I'm more of a live performer, and so
Mhm.
this like stripped the one thing I had from me
Oh
as a
no.
musician. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I like have writer's block too. Like most of my songs are written about experiences I have with the
Oh my
world.
God, comedy. Like I've been trying to write jokes. It's been such a pain in the butt. And like
Oh
every
my
once in a
god.
while I'll get something, but like
Hmm.
most of the time I'm just like, like all my stuff that I'm writing, like that I usually write is like you said, just stuff that I've done. And it's like I can't go anywhere. Can't
Do you
do
mind
anything.
actually so I could say like I'm gonna be on this podcast?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like that'd be cool. I just remember now. I don't want to forget. Okay, sweet. I'll be able
You're
to post
good.
that. Sorry that I did that in the middle of the podcast, but I
No,
didn't want
you're
to.
fine. Not a big deal at all. Podcasts, the more organic, the better.
That's true.
The more wacky stuff. Do you listen to any podcast?
I went through okay, so do you know Tiny Meat Gang?
Yes.
I listened
Yes.
to theirs for a little bit, and then also like I know David Dobrik has one. I don't listen to like the ones that are like actually cool. Like I'm aware that these were like, not that they're bad podcasts, but I understand that there's like a whole culture behind podcasts.
Oh, I
All
am
that
deep into like comedy podcasts. I
really.
listen to like probably I keep up with at least 12.
Okay.
Like
So you're involved.
yeah, I am. I mean, that's kind of why I did this one. Well, one, it's because as a aspiring comedian, I can't even call myself a comedian until I get on stage. But the issue is that now that COVID, we already went over that. But like,
Mhm.
I wanted a creative outlet, and since I can't do anything comedy wise because like Zoom comedy is the worst thing ever. I have
That's funny. I didn't even consider that, like that there's comedy going on.
Oh, that's how some of the like in the some of the improvs and different clubs have been staying. Like they'll put like someone on stage while over Zoom, and it's just like, come
Do you
on.
do when there's, but like, how do you deal with, because usually the whole point of like a stand-up comedy show is that like you have
It's
like
it's
immediate
live
laughter.
interaction. It's live interaction. Whether if
Yeah.
someone heckles you, you can call them out and be,
Yeah, like you don't have anyone laughing in front of you. I feel like
oh,
that'd be,
it's
I,
so weird. It's so
holy
weird and
crap.
cringy. I
Like
haven't
I
even
hate doing live streams when I'm doing like performing in a live stream, because like when I'm done, there's no
there's no
applause or
applause. You have
anything.
yeah.
So it's like, what do I say?
And
Like, okay,
comedy
thanks.
is so reaction based because like if I'm bombing in a joke, if I'm on stage, I'm gonna know I'm bombing, so I can immediately just skip that one, move on to the next one.
I
But
didn't
like,
think about that.
yeah, if I'm on a Zoom and I'm just like blah 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 blah, and then like everyone's just deadpan looking at me,
Yeah.
I don't know, I won't have the reaction that I need.
I
So
didn't like, I knew the comedians do that like when they're like they kind of rush through the jokes where nobody's reacting to it, but I didn't like fully like absorb that, so I didn't even consider. That's crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
this is just not a
what
good thing for any of us, but
no,
it's,
it's
I appreciate that you're taking advantage of it and you're doing something
yeah,
cool.
I mean, if I can do anything, whether it's just making one person laugh through a podcast or informing
Hmm.
them about something, that's all I really want to do. I mean, my goal is just to make people laugh, tell dick
Yeah.
jokes.
Aw. My friend and I attempted to create a podcast, not a legitimate one. Like we didn't intend for anyone to listen to it. It was more so like, haha, we'll just do this to be funny and send it to our friends. It wasn't good at all. And like I consider
My
the
first
guy I
podcast
did it with
is
us
awful.
really.
My
Oh, okay. That
yeah,
makes me feel
like
better.
episode one, there's four of us. I only have two mics, by the way, now. So it was immediately like, and also I hadn't figured out like audio recording that well yet. So like
Mhm.
when you listen to it, it's like my voice is super loud and then everyone else's voice is like all the way back here. So it's
Yeah,
like you have to adjust volumes as you're listening to it. And then like
right.
as I've
You have a pretty cool
gotten,
setup.
thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That made
No,
me realize that.
no,
Continue.
you're fine. It's just in my basement and I bought a couple mics and I have a laptop.
Looks cool though. Yeah, because like that, I'm looking at the boom situation you got going on there, and I think I might invest in something like that because I have a mic and
They're
it's on a
on,
tripod that's like, it's just inconvenient.
yeah.
Of course, I
So
have low battery, so I have to plug this
no,
in.
you're fine. What I will say is if you are looking at them, I got these off Amazon. I can send you the link. They were like, I think they were like under $100.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. And I mean, see, the way I view the virus, I don't like ever knowing that there are people that are like the victim of a situation, that things are happening at people's expense. That stresses me out. So I haven't been able to feel any level of like joy at the stimulus checks or like the unemployment or anything like that. Like it's every time I get it, there's this overwhelming sense of guilt because it's like, this is only happening because people are dying and it doesn't
Well,
make me feel good. But at least I hope there's some good that comes out of it, in the sense where people start to realize, like, wait, the government can take care of us.
I
Like
think
they're
that is,
capable.
I think that's going to be beneficial. I also think there's going to be a real humanitarian aspect that's going to benefit our society, because
Yeah.
like you have to realize, like, one, like even comedians have like comedy's kind of my wheelhouse. That's why I kind of like lean to. But even there, like,
Mhm.
we can do our lives differently than the way we have been. We don't have to be running ourselves ragged doing all these shows all the time. We can still entertain our audience while still touring less and doing other things. And then like even today at my work, we had our vice president visit, and he goes, as like he was telling us, he was like, as a company, we have to reevaluate what we now realize we can expect out of our company. If we can have a couple less people on, but like just get stuff done at a slower pace while still being able to do the business that we've been doing, they're like, everyone's looking at everything. We're reevaluating life, because we are on this constant pace of momentum, it felt like, in society, where everything just had to get faster and faster, everything had to be automated. But this COVID really forced us to slow down, so I think it's going to make us reevaluate the family values of life.
That's true. That's actually a really good point. Because I mean, you know, everything, when you said that things are moving at a very fast pace, I mean, especially with, inventions and like technology and all this stuff.
I wasn't
But I
even
also
talking
think,
about that aspect.
oh, really?
I was literally, what I meant by fast pace is like, everyone's like, we've been moving at such a pace, like we're working 5-6 days a week most of the time, where
Gotcha.
work days are getting
Yeah.
longer. And then like, but
We're
you're
definitely conditioned to work, and that,
yes.
our
And
government only sees value in people that are working.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then like
So
COVID has really forced people to look at what their house is, and are they happy at home? And it's like, there's so
I
many
know so many people
different,
are moving.
yeah.
It's crazy. Like, it's actually interesting to see that
Like,
people are like, this is a wake up call. I'm getting out of here.
yeah,
Like,
or on top of that, people are realizing, like, what furniture do I need? How can I improve my house? Because most people, when they get home nowadays, they're getting home, they might have a beer, or a joint or whatever they want, and then like at the end of the night, they're going to bed. They're barely really experiencing their own house, which
that's
your
so
house is
true.
supposed to be like the one area that you feel super comfortable in, but because we've been just pop 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 all the time, we're not even realizing that we're uncomfortable in our own houses.
That is actually very, very insightful, because I didn't even, and it's because I didn't consider it, because I didn't realize I was doing it, because I have become this like crazy interior designer since
Yeah,
the
because
virus. I mean,
you're being
I,
forced to stay home. You're being
yeah, so
forced to realize what your space is.
I like have been getting like all this like,
I did notice you have some pretty cool artwork.
thanks. This is actually, that was my uncle's. It's a Van Gogh thing. He gave that to
Oh,
me. This is
and
a Instagram artist work that I'm obsessed with her stuff. So I bought
ooh,
a tapestry from her, and then I got some more stuff that it's like out of the way. But yeah, I mean, that's so funny that you said that. I've been like constantly like, what can I buy to fill my
right?
home with?
Like, so you still live with your parents, or you live on your
No,
own now?
this is my apartment. Like,
Ooh, look at
yeah,
you,
it's a
fancy.
studio. Yeah, it's weird. I am very against excess space, not for other people, but for myself personally. Like, I could
Mhm.
never live in like a McMansion large homes thing, because when there's rooms that I'm not in, it's like, why is it there then? I like, it's just wasted
Yep.
area. So, at first getting a studio apartment, I was like, am I not gonna like, though, that like my bedroom's in the same area as like literally everything else, like that I have a bed and then the TV and then the kitchen. I was like, is that gonna be weird? I literally love it. Like, I don't want to be here. I try to go out, and I mean, there's nowhere I can go inside. I'm not an asshole that goes to restaurants while all this is going on, but like, I've gone to parks and I've met friends at like outdoor areas and stuff. But um
I've done some outdoor
yeah,
bars. Like, there have been a couple bars that are open. They have like a back bar open. So like my
when
friends
it's
and
when
I,
you're not breathing on other people and you're wearing a mask and you're being far away, I think it's fine. I mean, it sucks for the people who have to freaking go to work. Like, it sucks. But I try to go to the places where the people working don't have to work inside, because like, I'm not trying to like contribute. I'm hoping that like, I'm trying to be one of those people that where it's like, not enough people are going, we have to close down so that those people don't have to go to work. I'm like one of those people. But
I
I've been
wish
trying to,
my business was like that. Uh,
I'm sorry, like,
no,
honestly, it truly sucks.
it does suck, but what was nice is, one, I kept getting a paycheck, which was nice, and it like got me out of my house most days of the week.
Yeah.
So like I was able to just kind of stay on that like mental health, like just like if you have something
Right.
to do, you're not gonna like if I had to stay home for that amount of time, like I don't know what I would have done. Like that would have
It's
not.
from personal experience because I went before I moved here. So I moved like last month now. It's been
Yeah,
like
it was
four
very
weeks now.
recently, right? Because I saw it on Instagram. You were like, I'm in Nashville now.
Yeah, but for the months leading up until that point, I was just still in Staten Island inside all the time. There was nothing to do. I
So do
didn't
you
go
have a
anywhere.
day job at all, or
I
have
so
you made a living off music now?
I make well, okay, so surprisingly, I don't know where truthfully, I don't know where my streams come from. Like I do in the sense that I can see what playlist I'm on. So like I can just go and see like all the teenagers that have like put me on their playlist.
Hmm.
But I have this weird sense of like, but how did you find me? Like, and it really just like boggles my mind.
Well, I
So
never would have found you if it weren't for that concert in a backyard
yeah,
in the middle of
I've done enough
Florida.
shows where like I feel like people can find me through those shows, but I honestly, truthfully don't think that my
Honestly,
note.
though, I've shown you to a lot of my friends out here in West
Really?
Virginia. So if you have like
That's
weird
sweet.
West Virginia fans on your, they're probably
Probably.
from me because I've shown
That's
you
funny.
to a ton of my friends.
That's
And like
sweet. Thank you.
since I we all have like this same like music chase, like we all listen to like either rap or like weird indie like rock, like front bottoms,
Yeah.
Natalie, like your esque music. Like I showed you
Cool.
to my buddy Danny, and he was like, "I'm adding her to my playlist immediately."
That's so nice. That makes me feel okay. I actually kind of need like validation. Like that sounds terrible, but like I
No, I
make my
get it.
music for myself, but I am so critical of myself that I go through very long phases where I'm like, I'm the worst person I've ever heard. And I
Oh,
don't and so
I can relate. Oh, somebody casually referenced my podcast to me in a conversation the other day, and I was like, "Whoa, whoa,
Mhm.
whoa, you listen?"
Aw,
like,
that's
like,
sweet. Yeah, no, this has
like,
been fun. Like honestly, like I'm excited to go listen to the rest of them because like
yeah.
and I'm
I
not
mean,
even like a
I've
hmm?
got I've got 4 out right now, and I have 5 recorded. I just need to go through and edit it, cut out anything that we said that might need to be cut out, and then I'll have to do the same thing with this one. But this one
Okay,
should be.
cool.
And if there's anything you do want me to cut out, we can cover that. And like if you said
Okay.
anything wild.
Okay, cool. I think I mean, yeah, thank you. But so back to that being inside though, like I just have weirdly felt a lot of comfort in just having my own little space that there's not too
if
much
I
going
if I
on.
had my own apartment, or I could probably do it, but I live with my family still,
Oh,
and like yeah, I mean I'm still in college and I'm doing like the work. Well, right now I'm not in college because well, one it's summer
COVID.
break, but
Yeah.
also I'm not going back until like at least spring semester because it's like
Yeah.
I'm not playing the game of like you're gonna be in school for like 2 months and you're coming home for 3, and it's like
That's ridiculous that they're
yeah,
even bothering. I'm
yeah,
like, it's so
exactly.
dumb.
It's
I'm
so dumb.
not in school, so this was like, if I were in school, I probably would have whatever, but or probably would still be at home. I'm so sorry, I'm getting ahead of
Oh, if
myself,
I
but
wasn't in school, I would have my own apartment by now.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, it's the only reason I'm not in school is because I was like, what I want to do doesn't need a degree. Like I really couldn't. It was so hard for me
What
to get myself to pay that. Like
Oh,
I,
I feel that because I'm struggling with like the same thing right now with me because it's like I figured like originally started going to school because I wanted to be an engineer, and then like I'm
mhm,
2 years in now basically having my associates. I'm like 2 3 credits short or whatever, so I'm one
yeah,
class short of an associates. But it's like now that I figured out that I wanted to be a comedian, and that was like a whole like life moment for me because it was like my
yeah.
like I told my friends, they're like about fucking time you realized it.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah,
Also, they that's cool.
yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
like I told like
they're
one of my friends, and
supportive.
he was like, "No shit, buddy," and I was like, "What do you
Aw,
mean?" And then
that's
like
actually so sweet.
it was such a weird realization for me because like growing
Yeah.
up, like so like in middle school like was when I really started to like latch on to stand-up comedy, and that's when I was like I
Hmm.
figured out this thing that I really liked. I didn't think of it any beyond that. I never thought I could ever like try and do it as like a job or anything like that, but it literally just like so on the way to school my dad would have like the Laugh USA, which was the clean comedy channel on Sirius XM, and
Hmm.
so we would listen to that. And then at lunchtime, I would tell my friends the jokes from whatever comedian I was listening to that morning. And
Hmm.
then, like, looking back on that, I was like, huh, I wonder why I did that. And then like when like going through high school, I like started to go and see like live comedians, and like I always watched everyone's new special on Netflix or
So
YouTube
it
or
just clicked. You
yeah,
were
it
like, oh.
and like I was like a really nerdy kid. Like, well, you met me in like high school. I was the captain of the robotics team. Like
That's so cute.
yeah.
Aw, I was in orchestra, so I relate the whole
Okay,
like
yeah, like
dorky high school. Yeah,
I was the captain of the robotics team. My
that's
co-captain
funny.
Harley and I, we were the only two
Yeah.
people on the team, so it wasn't a really impressive.
You have a very like I can't describe like a theatrical voice, and I feel like the best comedians or like the most iconic ones have always had like their own
Good voices and
yeah,
individual
like that their
ones.
own
Like
tone
the
to
Bill
them.
Burr, like "Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh, nyeh," like his just like perfect
Yeah.
ranting, or like
I love
Gabriel
John
Iglesias.
Mulaney. I'm a John Mulaney
John,
fan.
he's like he's the comedian's comedian. By what I mean by that is like when you Google, like if you were to like, go like what's a comedian look like, John Mulaney looks like he's got like
Yeah.
like this like that 50s like original era comedian,
Yeah.
and
And
he's
he's so like wholesome. Like everything
yes.
he doesn't
I
I am obsessed with
typically
him.
I typically don't even like Trump jokes, and he wrote the best Trump joke
I
ever.
honestly am not a fan of them either because most of the time they just kind of are reduced to like, haha, Cheeto man. And it's
Yeah,
like, good
exactly.
diss. Like, that's all you could
But
come
then
up
he was
with. Like,
like, there's a horse in a hospital. And it's
yeah,
like, that's
I
the
know.
perfect analogy.
Oh my God, the horse one. I think what my favorite one of his that he did, it's like, um, actually, I don't like his comedy for the most part is wholesome. Here,
Are you
actually,
about to say
Oprah.
the What's New Pussycat bit?
No, it's doing the one where he was okay. I'll just say it. He was like,
You can
it
cuss
was
on this, by the way. I like,
it's he's this one he was referring to a slur, and so I like he what he said was, and it's funny because it's like he doesn't say the slur obviously, but I just feel uncomfortable talking about it in general. But he had a point, and he said that somebody was trying to tell him that a different word was worse than the N word, and he was
oh,
like, yeah,
yeah.
and I hate when people ever say anything in general saying that this word is worse than the N word is the worst slur that you
And
could
didn't
possibly
he
say to somebody.
immediately go, you still say the N word instead of saying the,
No,
no,
he
no,
said
that's another comedian's bit. Sorry.
he goes if you're trying to say that there, he goes if you have two words and you're trying to say one of the words is worse than the other one, and one of those words you won't even say
Yes.
what it
Okay. I'm
is,
sorry.
like you're
Okay. I
just
was,
saying that it's
yes.
an N word, whatever his I don't remember his exact wording. He's like, that's the worst word, and everyone
Yes.
lost it because he's so right. But like I don't know, because his comedy, it's like there's truth behind it, but then it's like
it's
his
it's
execution's
it's
hilarious.
observational humor that is
Yeah.
written perfectly. Like
Mm-hmm.
his writing is on point, to the point where like even other comedians have their like there have been comedians where they'll parallel write a premise, and then they'll like hear Mulaney's version of it versus theirs, and they're like, his is just better. His is
Mm-hmm.
just better.
It's just I don't know what the correct word is. It's the like the flow of how you speak,
His
and
cadence.
there you go, perfect.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah,
So
Mulaney has, and then like the JJ Bittenbinder, Detective Bittenbinder, where he's like street smarts. It's
I
like,
don't know
oh,
that.
you haven't seen it?
No, I don't even know that. I've
You
never
need
like.
to go look up that bit.
Oh,
When we finish here, go look up the
okay,
John Mulaney street smarts bit.
okay,
Only
sounds good.
he can talk about it. It was like only he could write a joke that ridiculous
That
on a
good.
premise, and then still pull it off that well.
He's impressive. Oh,
Yes.
also, you asked me what my day job is, and I went off on a tangent about how. Anyway, my point was saying I don't know how I end up on all these playlists is that I do make a substantial, like not substantial, but like a
A livable
livable
wage.
amount. Yeah, from my music, and obviously it's not enough to like I couldn't solely survive on that,
Mhm.
but I'm so grateful that I even make money off my music because truthfully it's not easy, and
I can't
it's
imagine
luck.
it is. I mean, I started this
Well, because they
podcast.
don't
I'm
pay you anything for
yeah.
streams. They pay you like pennies. It's crazy. But sorry, continue.
No, no, it's okay. I haven't made any money off this podcast. I have no idea if I ever will, but I just wanted a creative outlet, and I imagine that's exactly how you started off with your music. You were just like,
It's
I
the
like playing
mentality you have to
music.
have.
I like playing music, and I just want to play for people, whether they like it or not, and whether or not I get
I was
better
a
at it.
teenager, so I wasn't concerned about money, and
Oh,
honestly, I miss
yeah.
it. But I am trying to get back in that mentality, especially because that is so the day job aspect. I don't like, I've only ever done like freelance related things. So I guess if you want a backstory, when I was in high school, I face painted at kids' birthday parties as my job. So
Oh, that's a fun little side gig though.
it was genuinely like, I'm so glad I did that. It was so much, I love kids. I'm one of those people. I know some people hate kids. I like kids. But it was a weekend job, so I could spend the week, and also I was able to make my own schedule. I didn't have to take on any job I didn't want to. So
Exactly. And
during the
also,
week, I'm sorry?
I was also going to say, it's probably, since it's like you're a face painter, you're probably not there for long. So it's like,
I was there for 2 hours and I was out. Like,
yeah. And so you still have
yeah,
a full Saturday basically.
pretty much. So
And you're
and it
what?
was during the day. So
Yeah. Perfect.
so during the week, I had my online school because I switched to homeschooling when like sophomore year. And so I
What
just,
made you switch to homeschooling? Was it your choice, your parents' choice? Was it a music choice?
it was a music choice that I made and that my parents were immediately okay with because I was like, I don't know, my freshman year of high school got better to the extent where I was no longer like picked on by people because I was like kind of like a target in middle school. And then
Everyone was in middle school. I think that's the issue.
no, like I not to like victimize myself, but I mean I was like the like kind of like a laughing stock for a while just
I
for no
was
reason.
to put myself in perspective in middle school, I was the kid that corrected the teacher. So,
Sir.
yeah. Like
Okay.
if you want to talk
No.
about
No,
like
I just went to a very like kind of like snooty white kid school and like I wasn't that. So and I also dressed really weird and I made YouTube videos in my bedroom and like people would pull up the YouTube videos in school and literally laugh at me. Like I didn't eat lunch around people. I would like go in the bathroom and cry. Sometimes I asked people to pick me up. People would spread
Aw.
rumors like yeah, people were spreading like at the time, what's so funny to me? I hate when people use like somebody being gay as like a way to like pick on them because one, that's not something anybody should be using as like there's something wrong with you. That's not.
Agreed.
So what?
There's
What if I
nothing
was
wrong
gay?
with you if you are gay. That's
Yes, exactly. So even if I was gay, whatever. If I were gay and what they were doing was kind of outing me, that would have been horrible. But three, I wasn't gay, and it's not cool to like. They were now like anytime I had a best friend, it's like Natalie's a lesbian, so like everybody would do that to me. There was a song called "Do the Natalie Claro." My worst fear is that people from my middle school are going to hear these things and be like, I don't remember that because that happened to me one time where somebody was like, I don't remember that. It's true. There was a song called "Do the
oh,
Natalie Claro" where people would point at me and they'd sing it and they'd laugh and I'd freaking cry because it hurt my feelings. And it was because I was the only like really weird kid, and I've always been a weird person. And now people
I
compliment
was
my dress, and I'm like, but you didn't like it before.
not to compare bullying, but like when I was in middle school,
You go ahead, by the way.
I was picked on so much. There was a point where like I stood up to get my lunch. Like it was like,
Mhm.
like because middle school, so they had to keep us so organized because we were just monsters. So like they would only do like one table at a time to go get lunch. So I stood up, they were like, all right, your table can go. And I was like, I stood up quickly because I guess I was hungry or whatever that day. And someone just yelled out, sit your ass down, giraffe neck, just full across like I
It's not funny, but it is. I'm so
no,
sorry. Like
no,
it
it was.
is.
I look at it now as hilarious because one, I was a giraffe neck. I was
Yeah,
my
because I was looking at you now. I was like, your neck's like a normal
yeah,
size.
it's a normal neck, but at the time my body grew weird because I grew really lengthy and I was just super
Uh-huh.
lanky and my neck was just like extra long at the
Yeah.
moment. I didn't grow into it yet or whatever. So like looking at pictures of myself, I was like, damn, I was a giraffe neck. And it
Aw.
was just like even
Yeah, but
like
being picked on is never fun.
the teachers didn't even acknowledge it. Like that's how like they were just like, I guess we're just gonna
I
let this
know.
go
They're
through.
like, are you on your phone or your shoulder showing? That's a big deal. But like verbal abuse is fine. Like
Oh,
it's so
perfectly fine.
stupid. Yeah,
Perfectly
that's what
fine.
schools are messed up about. But so the reason I switched to homeschooling was because freshman year I broke and like I stopped caring about anything. And so I was like, if people are gonna make fun of me, I encourage it and I am going to make it a challenge to see how bad I can make it. And that's because I was so pissed. So I started doing weird stuff that like I would and it's funny, I've been recently telling the story, I feel like a lot because I found all like the memorabilia and it's like in the corner right now. But I would bring like strange hats to school every Wednesday and wear them when you're not allowed to wear hats alone, let alone weird ones. So actually, give me one moment.
No, you're fine.
I have some here. because I found them when I was moving to my apartment. I was going through all my stuff. Let me put my headphones back in.
I immediately recognized the Angry Birds hat, and I was like, "You
So I
one
would
that
just
that makes your head look small now, so I can't imagine how small it made your head look in freshman year of high school."
Yeah, it probably looked really ridiculous, and I hope it did. I showed up with this, and the best
Is
part is
is
that you
that
can
the
make the ears
is
flap up.
that
And it got more and more ridiculous as the weeks went on. I would do stuff where I would drop kick water bottles down the hallway. I never got in trouble for anything. That's what's so funny. Like, I never ended up in detention or suspension, whatever.
Well, I don't think they're really gonna throw the kid with weird hats in detention.
No, you weren't allowed to wear hats. It's just that I had good grades and I could always talk my way out of anything. I would throw stuff down the halls. I don't know where I could find it. It was a boar whistle. And it's one of those whistles where it's like when you blow into it, it resembles the sound of like a hog
Yep.
screaming. It's to lure them.
Yep.
I would run through the hallway with this kid named Matt Del Rosa, I think. I should hit him up and ask him how he's doing. But I would run through the hallways with him blaring that horn to cause chaos because I was so angry and angsty. I was like, everyone here is just gonna pick on me. I might as well make it worse, but it did the opposite. And then I became cool. And then I was like, no, wait, that's not what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to hate me more. And then people stopped hating
You were
me.
like, "This is not the reaction I wanted. What are you doing?"
I know, I can never get what I want. When I wanted people to like me, they hated me. When I wanted people to hate me, they loved me. It's like, come on. So that's what happened. But then so I performed in front of my school. They had like a little talent show at lunch, and I played Billie Jean on my guitar, and everyone liked it. They were like, "Oh, you did good." Like, that was whatever. So I had this sensation of like, I can pursue music, and no one's gonna make fun of me.
So is that when you started like actually like really pursuing music and being
Yeah.
like, "I can do this for real"? Was after
Unfortunately,
that
though, I was
talent show?
wrong. Yes. Unfortunately, though, I was incorrect about that nobody would make fun of me, because I kind of want to name drop just so that nobody knows I'm lying. Like,
I mean, you can name drop whoever you want. I
I'm
mean,
sure they're nice people now, but Grant Clifford and Kennedy Reed were like commenting mean stuff on my pictures. I went on my phone and I posted like things of me singing and stuff like that on my Instagram, and like showing like I'm gonna be at this cafe performing, like starting to promote my music. And I would open my phone to see like comments of people making fun of me, and it was just so freaking annoying because it's like, let me live my life.
well, you also have to remember like not to apologize
Oh no, they were kids. They were
or
being stupid.
justify the children at that moment, but like we were, and like at that moment most of the time when you're like shit talking someone else, it's especially when you're like 14, 15 freshman age, you're shit talking because in reality you wish you could do something like that, because
I think it was more like I was just kind of corny, honestly. And it's like,
was it
dude, I deserve to be made fun of? No, but I wasn't cool. So it's like, they were right.
maybe I think you were cool then.
Thank you. That's sweet of you.
You're
No,
welcome.
I was actually very corny at the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing.
I mean,
And that's fine.
aren't we
Yeah,
all?
it's true. I mean, when you're first starting out, it's hard to figure out what direction you want to go in with anything. And
It's
it was
like,
very bold of me. So
I mean,
um,
kudos to you for being a freshman and being able to be like, "I'm doing the talent show," because even we had a talent show at my college, and they were like, and my buddies were like, you should do your comedy. You should do your comedy." And I was like, first of all, don't think a college talent show in front of all the teachers is a great way to do my comedy, because I've got a pretty dark comedy, I'll be honest with you. And I was just like, I looked at my joke list and I was like, most of these have cuss words in them or reference some type of sex. And I was
you just
just
have
like,
to like censor it, bleep
I-
it every 2 seconds. I'm just kidding.
just bop, 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 bop.
Yeah.
Just like, so this one time I was
I actually appreciate how supportive your friends are, because having people who encourage you is amazing. And so like, shout out to your friends for
Oh yeah, big
being
shout
able to
out to all
understand your
my
talent.
friends, because like when I told them I wanted to be a comedian, it was none of them ever were like, "You really think you could do that?" All of them were like, "It's about time you realized you need to do that."
That's the best possible response. It's not even
Like,
like, yeah, that would actually be cool. It was like, no doubt kind of thing. It's
oh,
cool.
my buddy James, when I told him, he was like, "Oh, I'm glad I'm glad you're the last person to notice." Like, I was on the phone with him because I was like, "Dude," I was like, "I don't think I want to be an engineer." He was like, "Yeah, I know." And I was just like, I think I could actually do this stand-up comedy thing. And he was like, "Yeah, no shit. you're more into it than anyone else I knew. And what really actually drove me to do it is a quote from Bert Kreischer, where he said, Bert Kreischer is a comedian in case you don't know, but he said, the thing that you obsess about in your personal life is what you should do in your professional life. And it took him saying that to like put all like the gears in my head together, and like everything finally meshed. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I want like with the amount of stand up I consume, the amount of podcasts from comedians I watch, the amount of like just history that I know about stand up in general. I was like, this is what I have to do with my life. There's no other option
I'm
for
glad you're
me
doing it. That's
where
cool.
I would be happy. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm still going to college, because even if I don't do stand up, I'm getting my degree in journalism, so I can at least use that to be in like comedy broadcasting or comedy
Hell
writing
yeah.
or just
Genius.
yeah,
Love
exactly,
that.
because
You
like
already started. You might as well finish, and you need to utilize it for your benefit. Smart.
exactly.
I support it. It's cool.
Exactly.
But
Thank you.
yeah, so now I'm not in school at all. Like I'm not in college or anything. And now, so my day job, quote unquote, is thankfully more art. I'm glad and I'm fortunate for it, because I do like graphic design stuff.
That's
So
right. You have like your merch stuff, right? And like,
no. Like that's
mm,
my merch for my music. I do graphic design for like companies and stuff.
oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So I have like clients and stuff, and I make their artwork and all that stuff on my computer, and I love
So,
it. So
did you make your own artwork on your albums and stuff? Is that all you as
no, I
well?
didn't I couldn't like, okay, I've always been like sort of artistically inclined, I guess. Like I've had the skill. I didn't have the software. So I paid somebody to do it, and she's amazing. But that's like everything after that point has been mine. But that particular album cover I didn't make. But I
Okay,
love it. So
that's a really cool cover though. It's like rainbow throw up, isn't like the okay, yeah.
my eyes are dripping in black ink.
Yes, yeah,
And that
okay.
was going to be my brand for a little bit, but like I don't know what happened. Like a lot of the things that were like kind of like I felt like I was trying to coin as like my thing, suddenly Billie Eilish started rising, and then she coincidentally
Oh,
like had all the things that I was doing, and I was like, I can't do this anymore now, because
and then
I kept getting
and even though
people kept sorry.
you might be older than her and have been performing longer or whatever, you even though since she's bigger, it'll immediately look like you're just stealing from her.
Precisely. People kept saying like, "Oh, you're doing the Billie Eilish thing," and I was like, "It's the Natalie thing." I promise, but it was, yeah. She came out with a music video where black ink was dripping from her eyes, and that
Oh,
became
so
a
you were
thing.
immediately like, I can't do this anymore. Thank you,
So
Billy.
I wasn't immediately like that. It took like enough people were saying to me like, "Oh, you're doing Billie Eilish," and I couldn't. I was like, I
Oh,
don't want to seem like I'm copying someone. And then she
well,
came out with,
individuality is very important, especially when you're trying to
yeah.
make it in like a business of some sort, because you want to stand out. You don't want to join the crowd.
Yeah, it is just I didn't want to seem like I was copying somebody. And I also did a thing where my eyes would be whited out, like where I didn't have pupils or irises or anything.
And then she did that, didn't she?
She did. Her album cover has that. So then I was like, this is just it. So now my thing has become, I mean, my brand has always involved black lipstick, just because I love black lipstick and I wear it all the time. Not
You
as
were
much
wearing
now
it.
during,
Well, you were wearing it the night of the concert. I always
yeah,
just
because
like,
it's
and then
been
like,
that long too. It's
yeah.
crazy. But I've always loved how it looks. So that's been my thing. So, and then now I had like a awakening, and I've always loved roses. So roses started getting incorporated into my look a lot. So I guess all I have to say is that if one day she starts wearing black lipstick and doing roses and stuff, I am going to quit.
Just
Because
you. Just
I don't have any
no.
other ideas. Like I'm out of them. So I hope she doesn't. I hope she like. It's literally the worst coincidence ever. Like I hope to God she doesn't one day go, I would look great with black lipstick, because then I'd be like, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. I have nothing.
Well, I mean, if she does the black lipstick thing, you at least have enough evidence to be like, I've been wearing this forever. This is my thing.
Yeah, but I
But
don't
like,
have. You can't explain
you
that to
can't
every
fight. You're
person.
right. You're right. But you can just like embrace your brand and be who you are instead of worrying about like other people.
I'm not even worried. It's more so like
Just a
it.
business thing at this point where it's
Yeah,
like,
because it's like the whole point of having a whole brand or whatever, so that you can stand out. And it's like I I don't try to stand out on purpose. It's more so that like something I like happens to be something special to me, and black lipstick's always been special to me. And I would hate to feel like something I'm doing looks like
well,
I don't like
you
when
just
artists copy each other, so I wouldn't want to appear that way. I don't know. It's
I
a pride
completely
thing.
understand. But also, like, we just need to get you more like SoundCloud follow, or no, it's not SoundCloud. We need to get
Spotify.
you more Spotify followers. That's all we
Thank
need.
you. I honestly, I don't intend to ever, I don't want to be like a celebrity ever in my life. Like I make music because I like it. And, you know, I like touring and I want to be, I want to be one of those indie artists that makes a living being an indie artist.
Mm-hmm.
And like they tour and they have people at their shows, but they're never like, if you ask the common person, like, have you ever heard of the band Honey? They'd be like, I don't know the band Honey because they're not on the radio, but
Well,
you know,
most people aren't on the radio.
yeah. So I'm just saying like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be a radio artist. I want to just be like somebody who creates music and can afford to survive off of it.
Well,
So
you know, maybe you'll get that front bottoms life eventually. Because I
yeah.
think they're huge, right? Like I don't know what their level of fame is, but like
They're huge in the sense of like they can walk down the street and like nobody's going to attack them and they're not involved in drama, but like they
have a
like
huge following. Like if you mention
yeah.
the front bottoms, most people are going to be like, I've heard of them.
Yeah, exactly. And like I think that's dope. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, there you go. That's the level of fame you want. Not street noticeable fame, but like livable fame.
Yeah, like I just want to be able to pay my bills doing what I like to do.
That would
And
be
I guess
dope.
maybe that's why honestly, and it's
That would
I
be the ultimate goal with comedy for me. But
it would
first
be
thing I want to do is just start getting on stage so I can perform and just make people
everything's
laugh.
baby steps. So
Yes.
but the thing is that's why I get so awkward about the word fans because I think it's like I mean, it's funny because I call myself a fan of artists I love and I say, oh, I'm a Lady Gaga stan, I'm a Freddie Mercury stan. But when it comes to like me personally, then I suddenly have this sensation of like, that doesn't make sense. I'm providing a product and a service. Like a show is a service, I'm entertaining you. And then the product is the music. And it's no different than if I was like, nobody's a fan of Starbucks. Like nobody's
Oh,
like
some
cries
people
over.
are. Some
Yeah,
people are.
but honestly, you're addicted to Starbucks or you love Starbucks, but you don't like buy Starbucks merchandise and like worship them. And it's like, can I get Starbucks signature? Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, but yeah, I do want to. I get what you mean, but also
yeah.
like
So like, I don't want to.
the reason fans happen is because a fan is someone who's not only happy about like watching you, but we're also happy watching you succeed, and watching
Yeah.
you succeed makes us happy as fans.
No, but that's not my point. I'm trying to say more so I wish that we like it was more like of a friendship base. Like
Okay.
I don't like the idea that you're obsessing over somebody who's above you just because you like their product they create. How come an artist can't just talk to the like what is this whole like where I'm above you and like you DM me and I don't answer like I know that like sometimes you get too many DMs that it's hard to reply, but my favorite artists are the ones that like walk out after their show and they stand amongst the people that were there and it's like, hey, how are you? And they're just talking.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
why the comedians that I love all do that. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I want to be.
most live comedy shows that I've been to, I've been able to meet the comedian afterwards, and I
Uh-huh.
feel like there's like comedians and musicians have this like weird bond where like we can relate to each other because one, a lot of times we've at some point at certain points in your career we would have played the same venues, like.
Mm-hmm.
And then like also like you get like we're trying to make people happy and well with you you're trying to make them like not make them but like let them listen to your music, enjoy it, have a good time, and like my goal is to like make them laugh, have a good time. It's kind of similar on that front, and like we're
Yeah.
also getting on stage where you might have a band with you or is like whereas like I'm just going out on my own, but like the whole goal is like we're trying to just entertain people while simultaneously making ourselves happy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I love that aspect about it. Sorry, my eyes are like bloodshot now because I'm very tired.
No, you're good.
But
I don't know how long we're in, but I think this might be a
we're
good
in an
place.
hour.
Is that what it is? Oh, wow. That went by super quick.
It did. That's why I looked at the time and I was like, that's why I'm tired. I was like, how am I falling asleep already? But
Well, we can just call it an end then. This was a really great episode. It was
I think
nice
that was like
talking to
a
you.
good end to it too. I feel like that was like really, I
Perfect.
don't know,
Well, I'll
felt
do
good.
my little outro and we'll call it a night.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for listening to Conversations to the Max. This was episode 6 with Natalie Claro. Before we go, is there anything you want to plug or put in here? You know, anything you have to promote, anything like that?
Yeah, I just released a music video, so you should watch it.
Ooh, I'm going to have to go check that out.
Yeah.
All right. Again, this was Natalie Claro. Check her out on Instagram. When I release the link to this, I'll have her linked all to this so you can go check her out, and vice versa. I'll have mine all linked up so her fans, because I'm sure this will be interesting for your people who don't know who I am to listen to.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool. I'll be able to promote it. I took that picture before. Sorry, I'm brain dead right now.
No, you're fine. It's fine. It's pretty late at night anyways. Thank you so much again for doing this, by the way.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And